Here's a simple little project. It's a heart banner, or it's a chain of hearts that you can make as a bit of home decor if you use thicker wires. Otherwise, it's a chain. But you can see my little sample there I made years ago, and I thought, I know what, I'm going to make this larger to hang in the house. And you can decorate it. But anyway, I'm using 1mm aluminium wire so that I can show you something that's sort of larger scale. And I'll find the center. This is 10 inches that I've cut for the scale I'm doing. I'm placing my bail making pliers, but it could be a round nose pliers, it could be a pencil or anything round, and then I'm twisting the wire underneath where I've made that first loop. So that's created a little twisted stem underneath the loop. Now I'm pushing the extended wires on each side towards that loop, so it's going up towards the loop again. And then you want to find a mandrel, anything cylindrical, anything round, that you can create the two sort of shoulders or sides of the heart on either side of that twisted stem. And then it's really up to you how big you want to make the heart. So it depends where you want to cross over those wires to create that point at the end of the heart. So you decide whether you want it long or you want it quite stout and shorter and wider. So, make that decision. And then once you've made that decision, cut off a little bit of one of the extended ends to create a hook, and then you can hook the other stem within that, secure it by just squeezing the wire around it, and that secures it in place. And then you need to straighten up the projecting stem, and that projected stem then can be made into a link at the very, very end. So you might need to just shave a bit off if it's too long, otherwise the loop is too big, and then take your round nose pliers and create a centered loop coming from the point of the heart. And that's about it. So the only thing I like to do, because I like hammering, is I'm going to flatten, work harden, and I'm going to texture it. Now this isn't the right place to hammer too hard because the whole thing will bounce, my camera will bounce. But just to tell you, I would hammer the edges, so I'd flatten it, and once I've flattened the outer frame, I would use my texturing end, the ball peen end, to texture hammer just those edges. So this is using the Whammer hammer ball peen, and then I just use my nylon head again to flatten it down if it's lifted up. So here it is, textured, flattened, everything, it's all work hardened, and all I have to do is link it on the end of the last heart that I have created. So I open up the cut end sideways and link that in, making sure that the textured sides of the hearts are all on the same direction, otherwise you're going to have some facing forward and some facing back. And then all I have to do is make a sort of decoration for the very end. I mean, you can make these as long as you want. So I'm going to make, I've got a little heart bead here. It's a glass heart bead. It's like a Murano glass. And I'm just going to link that in the base because that gives it a bit of weight. So instead of making a normal head pin, I'm making a little spiral. So a little open spiral. Then I leave a little bit of a gap and I flip it over onto the side of the bead, and that just gives a nice little finish. And then for the other end I need a link. So I'm going to do a wrap loop. So just wrapping the wire around that loop, and then I will cut off the excess because I'm working from a spool, and then obviously I have to just neaten that up, making sure there's no spiky end, and if it's a bit distorted and you need to sort of rearrange it a bit, center it, maybe make it a bit straighter. And once you're happy with it, you open the link right at the end, link that in, and that gives a bit of weight to the banner. And really the other end is just you need a linking end for the top so that you can hang it off something. So for the other end of my Chain of Hearts banner, I'm going to put an S-link. So I'm getting the same wire that I've been using for the hearts, creating an S-link, so going one way then the other way, or some people call these infinity links. That's a posh way really of calling an S-link, isn't it? And then I'm going to link that into the top, and then perhaps I could put a ribbon, or I could put another link in there. I mean, you could put more beads on, you can wire beads onto the hearts to make it more colourful. You could use different coloured wires for the hearts. Aluminium wire comes in many different colours, so you could do a rainbow sort of assortment on this chain. I've just found a bit of ribbon here, so I'm going to just make a ribbon, and from that ribbon I can hang it. It just gives it a bit of softness, a different texture. So these can be hung from a window, hung against the wall, and they just look quite fun and make lovely gifts as well. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon.